The global economy is teetering on the edge of yet another trade war, and this time, President Trump is taking direct aim at Europe. In a fiery post, he has threatened to impose a staggering 200% tariff on wines, champagnes, and all alcoholic products coming from France and other EU nations. This in retaliation for the European Union's decision to slap a hefty 50% tariff on American whiskey. The question now, how far will this go? And what does it mean for American consumers? Let's break it down. Yesterday, the European Union fired back at Trump's latest wave of tariffs, putting a significant 50% tax on whiskey imported from the United States. Not one to back down, the former president wasted no time in delivering his response, making it clear that unless the EU rolls back its decision immediately, he will escalate the trade war to unprecedented levels. The move sent shockwaves across financial markets, with alcohol manufacturers and retailers scrambling to brace for the fallout. CNN's Alina Trine reports that the Trump administration sees this not just as an economic battle, but a negotiation tactic. Officials close to the former president suggest that Trump views tariffs as leverage, a tool to force foreign governments to make concessions that he believes will ultimately benefit the United States. However, as history has shown, these tit-for-tat trade escalations often come at a high price, and it's American consumers and businesses that are left picking up the bill. Markets are already reacting. The stock prices of major liquor and spirits companies are tumbling, and retailers are warning of price increases. Analysts say a 200% tariff could drive the cost of European wines and champagnes through the roof, making your favorite bottle of French bubbly a luxury few can afford. Small and medium-sized businesses that rely on imported alcohol are also on edge, fearing that their sales could plummet if prices surge. For restaurants and wine shops that specialize in European imports, the consequences could be devastating, forcing them to either drastically raise prices or cut back on their product offerings. But the biggest question remains, will this strategy work? Tommy Tuberville, a vocal Trump ally, has made it clear that he stands by the former president's aggressive trade policies. Speaking earlier today, he defended the tariffs, saying, "No pain, no gain." That's what we used to tell our football players. There's going to be some pain with tariffs, but tariffs got us back as a strong economy when President Trump was in office the first time. He knows what he's doing. Democrats, get out of the way. However, polling suggests that many Americans are not on board with the administration's approach. Economic uncertainty is already a top concern among voters, and with consumer prices expected to rise, the question is whether this gamble will pay off politically or if voters will turn their frustration against Trump's tariff-heavy strategy. At the heart of this trade war is the ongoing battle over steel and aluminum. Trump initially imposed tariffs on these materials, citing national security concerns. In response, the EU targeted American whiskey. Now Trump has upped the ante yet again. The back and forth has left businesses scrambling, and economists warn that an all-out trade war could drive prices higher across multiple industries. Many sectors that depend on imported materials, automobiles, manufacturing, and even agriculture, could face major disruptions. If the trade war expands beyond alcohol, it could create ripple effects throughout the global economy. Financial analysts say the impact is already evident. CNN's Vanessa York reports that Wall Street is on edge, with investors unsure of how this will play out. The markets are reacting to two competing narratives, she explains. On one hand, consumer prices in the U.S. have been falling, offering some relief to inflation concerns. On the other, a full-blown trade war could erase those gains, sending costs skyrocketing once again. Retail giant Walmart is among the companies feeling the squeeze. The company, which relies heavily on imports, has reportedly been in negotiations with Chinese producers, urging them to lower prices in an attempt to offset tariff-related costs. Walmart executives fear that if tariffs continue to rise, everyday Americans will be hit the hardest at the checkout line. Other major retailers, including Costco and Target, are also bracing for potential price hikes that could impact everything from food to electronics. If suppliers pass the cost down to consumers, the inflationary effects could spread far beyond alcohol, hitting working-class families the hardest. Meanwhile, American producers of whiskey and spirits are also caught in the crossfire. Many distilleries rely on international sales, with Europe being a key market for U.S. bourbon and whiskey. The EU's retaliatory tariffs mean that American whiskey brands will face steep price hikes overseas, making them less competitive compared to European spirits. Some industry insiders fear that prolonged trade tensions could lead to job losses in the liquor industry as businesses struggle to absorb rising costs and declining sales. Beyond the economic impact, there's a significant political element at play. Trump's aggressive stance on trade has been a hallmark of his policy approach, one that he believes resonates with his base. But with inflation already a top concern for voters, will a prolonged trade battle hurt his electoral chances? Democrats are seizing on the opportunity to argue that his policies are making life more expensive for average Americans, while Trump and his allies maintain that these short-term pains are necessary to ensure long-term economic strength. Moreover, international allies are closely watching how this situation unfolds. If the U.S. continues to escalate tariff threats, it could strain relations with European leaders, potentially impacting cooperation on other geopolitical issues. Some experts warn that a worsening trade war could give China an opportunity to strengthen its trade alliances with Europe, further complicating the global economic landscape. This trade war isn't just about numbers. It's about real-world consequences. Consumers could soon see higher prices on everything from wine to electronics. Small businesses that rely on imports could be forced to cut costs elsewhere, possibly leading to layoffs. And in the broader political landscape, the ongoing battle over tariffs is shaping up to be a defining issue in the upcoming elections. So the question is this a masterstroke by Trump, forcing Europe to the negotiating table? Or is it a high-stakes gamble that could hurt American wallets in the long run? One thing is certain, this trade war is far from over. And as new threats and retaliations unfold, we'll be here to break down every twist and turn. Stay tuned for more updates as this story develops. What do you think? Are these tariffs a necessary move to protect American industry? Or are they just driving up prices for consumers? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Focal Point for the latest updates on this and other breaking news stories.